APC. Well, this is contained in an originating summons dated 27 February 2025, filed by the PDP with Nwoko, the Senate President and the Independent National Electoral Commission as respondents. The suit was filed on behalf of the PDP by Ayo Asala SAN. In the originating summons numbered FHC ABJCS 454-2025, PDP raised several questions for determination by the court. Well, Mr. Fineface, I mean, this is coming as regards to Senator Ned Walker's defection from the PDP to the APC. I mean, we've had this call before, and this call is coming the second time again, that the seat of the Senator Ned Walker's be declared vacant, considering the fact that he has already defected from the PDP to the APC, but then he's still retaining that position. He's still maintaining that position. He's been paid salaries, and they're also requesting that the salaries he got whilst in that position be returned back to the PDP, and they also call for a by-election again. I would like to get your take on this one, Fineface Amadi.
I will still it just kind of not yesterday. I think it's not to fight to next
Okay, Mr. Fineface, just like I said earlier on, that the network isn't really friendly, and I've been struggling to hear you over here, and I'm sure our audience are not able to get exactly what you said, but I would like you to also rephrase it. What you just said now, just for clarity's sake, let me just get your point as regards to that, please.
I would want for him.
All right.
However, I would want a lot of the things. I want to say it's not a play, but say that people are get so led more to the kind of into what to the next so PDP not the for the all the product is the constitution but in fact all I said I want and listen.
Okay, I quite understand with you that you do not really want to comment much on that because the case is in court already, so it doesn't look like we're trying to preempt the court at this time. But then we're being concerned with the fact that the senator, after defecting from the PDP to the APC, still receives salaries. I mean, that was meant for the PDP, even when he has already defected to the APC. Again, isn't that a call for concern?
Okay, is people. So we have to people students. You have to take standard. You have to take all the elements that is in the of the class at the moment. If it's not declared or why, I don't know if it will come. But I don't think it is definitely.
Okay, so taking a look at a by-election being conducted, do you think there is any possibility for them to conduct a by-election, considering the fact that the case is already in court?
No, you can't conduct it.
Okay.
But this is conduct, but no can conduct it because parties.
Right now into another story for today. We'll take a look at the National Working Committee, the PDP National Working Committee, their meeting they held in Abuja. All members of the National Working Committee, NWC, of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, are currently meeting in Abuja, the nation's capital. The meeting, which is being held behind closed doors at the party's national headquarters, is presided over by the PDP National Chairman, Umar Damagum. This comes 2 days after the Supreme Court dismissed the motion for a stay of execution of a High Court judgment removing Senator Samuel Anyanwu from office as National Secretary and replacing him with Sunday Ude Okoye. There was a heavy presence of security personnel, including operatives from the Department of State Services, DSS, the police, and the Civil Defense Corps, thugs, and some members loyal to the embattled PDP National Secretary. A PDP staff member who witnessed the clash and requested anonymity told journalists that the scuffle began when supporters of Samuel Anyanwu entered the party premises. According to him, the pro-Anyanwu supporters attempted to lock out some members of the PDP National Working Committee who were arriving for the usual meeting. However, they were overpowered by staff, private security guards, and some police up there, and you can hear me clearly. Well, this is a very serious issue right now. The PDP having a closed-door meeting amidst tight security. I mean, this issue seems to have been resolved. The issue between Samuel Anyanwu and Ude Okoye being the national secretary. The court has already installed Ude Okoye as the national secretary, but now we're seeing Samuel Anyanwu pesting the National Secretariat in Abuja even today when they were going about their normal duties. I would like to get your take as regards to that. Many thanks for staying with us. You're watching Atn Politics right here on Atlantic Television Network, and joining us virtually is Mekini Fine Face Amadi. He's a public affairs analyst while joining us today on the conversation. Well, before we went on the short break, we were talking about, the closed-door meetings that was held by the PDP in Abuja. I mean, we had issues of the national secretary. We have the Samuel Anyanwu and Ude Okoye, issues which we thought has already been resolved. Mr. Fineface, if you can hear me, can you hear me? All right, so we're looking at this issue of the Samuel Anyanwu's team going to disrupt activities at the National Secretariat in Abuja, today. What would you make of this?
It's more that a particular class so far the fact will become a disorder in the access. The fact of particular individual must go to this and making of the national committee. Knowing that Amit is just party for the next coming election, feel that they have the power of the that give and postcode to not decide to go and interrupt meeting of this PDP. At the same time, it's unfortunate.
All right, thank you so much for that. Again, we are looking at the issues of Samuel Anyanwu going to disrupt that, considering the fact that Ude Okoye has already been appointed the National Secretary of the PDP. Again, do you think there are any legal actions that could be taken as regards to Samuel Anyanwu's disruption of both the National Working Committee's meeting as well as the other, activities going on in the party secretariat in Abuja?
Further disrupting the activities of the country. People are taking. And I said to take action or around whatever it is. I expect people to answer again. If people are to the open or decision making of the party and the other decision by virtue also moving of the court or to this taking out. Can one man do the power making conflict? You cannot wait about stopping the activities, but if I have I don't know why that I don't think it must try.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let's move on to next year. We'll take a look at the Labour Party now. Youth wing of the Labour Party has pushed for the recall of Labour Party member Senator Neda Imasuen from the Senate for his poor representation and conduct at the Senate. In light of his role in the recent suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan from the higher chamber, the Labour Party youths also asked the Senate to immediately rescind the Akpoti-Natasha suspension and reconstitute a committee to properly investigate, the sexual harassment allegation against a senator, against a Senate President Godswill Akpabio. While the youth demanded for Senator Imasuen to be recused from the reconstituted committee, they insist that Akpabio must present himself for investigation by an unbiased arm of government. Imasuen, representing Edo South, on public interest, such as the amendment of the Electoral Act, security sector or economic reforms, amongst others. Senator Neda Imasuen and his subsequent posturing afterwards has no doubt left everyone in shock about his possible dislike for women folk, a character which may be construed as being a misogynist. Well, it's such a a long read, so it won't take much of those statements again. Mr. Fineface, if you're there, you can hear me. I want to take a deep look at this. The Labour Party youth wing, I beg your pardon, are calling for the recall of the Senate's the chairman as regards to the privileges. A committee who were supposed to take on a disciplinary action against Natasha for not adhering to the instructions in the Senate. Well, there's quite a lot to say about all of this, and I'm sure you've heard what we've just said. Now, I'd like to get your take as regards to these, what the youth are saying, if it's appropriate for them calling for the recall of the Senate there. Let me get your take on this.
So I think the core and the labor people okay and proper. The rate things don't come in this country in this. They elect and then the governance is fine. The governance continues in Nigeria. So let the states start to and is and what. So see things just happen the way they want to be. It happens the way they want it to happen. The state has come up to this other present in what in after and whatever. We have that. But process of thinking should be followed. That process of thinking is on the so that
again, there are concerns as regards to the urgency of, calling a courts given order that there should be a hearing from both sides as regards the sexual harassment of allegations by Natasha, accusing Senator Godswill Akpabio for sexual harassment. And dates were scheduled for that, which was supposed to be 11th of March 2025. But then we saw the urgency at which the disciplinary committee, brought this issue. They didn't even wait for the 11th of March 2025. They had to bring it really urgently on the 5th of March 2025 to talk about this matter and then suspend Natasha in the Senate. And that's the reason why they're also calling for Imasuen's recall. Again, what would you say about that?
Look at a map that was of 7 and the 50 that it's surprising because it's really 10% of it. idea. I don't know audience. I audience is consistent enough. Why not the thing of data the there are strong parts. That has two power that achieve this for the punishment of that is or no, what you do or no. It's mean that it will be and privilege of it. The people who are waiting and me this is the appointment and that call it back. Why? So I it was this of them. It's picking up.
Well, okay. Okay. So, well, we're still talking, I'm still on the Natasha's issue. Just yesterday, we saw her as the Parliament Union, IPU, Inter-Parliamentary Union. Well, let's take a look at the story. President of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU, Dr. Tulia Axon, has said the union will also listen to the other side to get a balanced view after suspended lawmaker Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan made it aware of a case against the Senate and its president, Senator Godswill Akpabio. On Tuesday, Natasha tabled her case during the Women in Parliament session in New York, saying she is seeking justice and the intervention of global democratic institutions. She also described her suspension from the Senate as illegal, adding that there are indications that she may be held against her will by that be from Nigeria for speaking up in New York. Natasha was suspended after engaging in a shouting match with Akpabio over the new seating arrangement in the Senate, which she said was unfavorable to her. This was after Akpabio refused to contribution as plenary for not speaking from the new seat assigned to her. The debacle between the two of them got heated after Natasha went on national television to accuse Akpabio for punishing her for refusing his sexual advances. She also submitted a petition detailing how she was allegedly sexually harassed by the president of the Senate. After the submission, the lawmaker representing Kogi Central was suspended by the Senate for flouting its rules concerning the sitting arrangement. However, speaking in New York, Natasha told the IPU that she was suspended illegally because she submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the president of the Nigerian Senate. Reacting to the IPU, President said necessary steps will be taken concerning Natasha's plight, but not before listening to the other side. Well, just yesterday, we saw this video of Natasha in New York City. I mean, leaving the shores of Nigeria up down to New York, you know, to bring up the case, citing issues of being shot up if she tries to push the case right here in Nigeria. Well, quickly, in just a minute, I would like to get your take as regards to Natasha's moves against the issue of sexual harassment by the Senate. I mean, the Senate's president, Godswill Akpabio.
If there is that here the other side.
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm. All right. Thank you so much, making a fine face, Amadi, for that in-depth analysis. Well, unfortunately, we do not have enough time to continue this conversation. Would have loved to go further, but then we'll leave it here for today and we continue tomorrow. Thank you so much for your in-depth analysis as well as your time on the show today. Well, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Atn Politics. Remember, we are open for adverts, placements, news and events, coverage, personality, society, and political interviews, product service promotion, and commercials. Remember, you can connect with us on all our Atn socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are always the pathways to progress. Thank you so much for watching. I am Victor Peter. Atn Gen Z comes up next. Do stay with us.